getting row crop ground and building it back into pasture. I've had experience with this and it's not easy. And I know you're playing with it as well. So give us some tricks and some ideas of what we can kind of expect when we go down this path.
Yeah, so I mean, I've heard a few different ways, and it's the ones that seem to work the best are the ones that I wouldn't do, honestly. I've heard of people just going ahead and seeding their perennial mix right away and knocking it out of the park. I like the slower approach. I've always thought, and I've been taught, right, that seeding it with annuals first for a couple of years, taking the time and doing that. Um, it's been a slow process for me getting that to establish. I'll be flat out honest with you, and maybe I just haven't done it right. That's probably the answer. But I've come at it with annuals, graze them out, and then seed a new annual, and then did that for a couple seasons. And my perennial stand was lackluster, I'll say. I haven't been too thrilled, but I haven't done any more seeding, and what's coming in is starting to look pretty impressive. So it's been a slower go. Um, but that being said, I've just had, a slightly more expense in annuals, but I do fairly light seeding rates as well. I don't go over the top on seeding rates by any means. I think we can get a lot of grazing out of lower rates, honestly. So I look at seeds per square foot more so than pounds per acre on a lot of this stuff. So, um, and getting those to express themselves. So, um, yeah, I mean, it is tough because you're going to have more Forbes or annuals that you don't want out there coming in than what you're seeding or what you're hoping to come in. But the thing about it is if you graze properly, uh, run tighter groups, you're going to be able to utilize those. I mean, whether it's ragweeds or lamb's quarters or whatever, water hemp, mare's tail. It's all good forage. It'll convert, so don't get too worried about it. But I would probably at least for a season and a half, try to get some annuals out there, prime and feed that biology before you start to put in perennials, especially your natives, your warm season natives.
Yeah, the experience I've had was on the worst experience I've had, I should say, was going straight from very conventional washed out hill ground, taking it right out of crops and trying to establish natives. That was a nightmare.
Yeah,
Nightmare. And like I said, I've had some small patches that I went with just a fescue based mix, pretty generic to get started, and worked okay. But I
yeah,
think more times than not, if you can do like your annual rotation for at least a year, if not more, and
yeah,
what really changed it for me going from that to the prairie land or prairie grass type was I spent one whole winter unrolling hay on that
yeah,
and really just turned the whole entire deal around. And after
yeah.
that, I started having success. So
Yeah, and the warm season natives are they need a more fungal relationship. So if you're coming from a row crop system, which is going to be more bacterial dominant, that's where if you're doing warm season natives, getting that fungal component up will allow the establishment of those a lot better.